All right. It's been a while doing one of these. It is November 5th of 2024. Making another exit data video. But before we begin, I'm going to play the last one I did for you guys 3 years ago, or at least a clip of it.
About December 27th. Starting to make sense? And let's take from bottom to bottom and let's extend it, right? Where does it land? About a year later, just like last cycle, December 26th, 2022. 2 to 3 months, 77 days, right? It could be less, it could be more, give or take a month. It could reach into January or it could end as early as November. I don't doubt it. For sure, though, it's going to be winter. It will not extend for another 6, 7 months. Whoever holds it, in my opinion, is losing their money.
Okay. This was when everybody was you gotta remember this was at a time where everybody was projecting Bitcoin's going to 500,000. You had people like Big Boy Crypto, um, Benjamin Cohen talking about quarter 2, quarter 3, quarter 4 of the next year. That's when we're going to see the top. Um, it, I stuck to just hard market analysis, right? Price action, pattern recognition. Um, I just let the data speak for itself. Now, this is the same chart, but a little updated. I added some more confluence into it. Um, Now, I'm not trying to shit on these other guys and whatnot, but most people are they just throw shit at the wall and they're just trying to make videos. Because if you make one video like me on something really solid, I'm gonna be coming out with an analysis very few and far between because it sticks at the end of the day. It's a macro analysis and it puts everything in display for you. I'm not here to be a content creator and whatnot. So I don't need to be constantly throwing bullshit at you, updating my charts constantly. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Um, which I have been actually, on for example, um, the dominance chart with total three. I had a rudimentary understanding at the time about how that works. I'll touch more on that later. But as of now, this is how it's looking right now for the Bitcoin liquid index, right? So I've added a lot more confluence, you know, some things to just help with the projections, right? So as I just showed in that clip, we were right about here a couple months before the top, and I projected it to be just about November, December, or into January. I said give or take a month from December. Ended up being precisely November 10th, a month out, a month before, and also projected the bottom of the market literally a year and a few months in advance. I got it on point with this information, with this pattern recognition. Um, Not many people do that. Not many people do that. And I don't mean that to be arrogant. I mean that just to show that this data speaks for itself. I'm just like I said in the last video. Um, I just voice the data. I'm just analyzing it and putting it out there for whoever wants to listen, which is usually a small circle of people that I share with. Now, where should I begin? Let me see. If you want to know more about, I'm not gonna explain everything right here, but if you want to know more about, um, how I came to this data, which I painstakingly, you know, combed through uh this chart and applied a lot of things to it, and yeah, just go check out my 18-minute video. Anyways, I'm not trying to make this too long neither, so I'm going to um, show you what I've added to this liquid index, right? So obviously there's the projections from market bottom to halving to top, right? Uh, Projected given the same, following the same pattern and data, Bitcoin's top should be around November of 2025 if it goes according to the same projections, right? Now, something interesting. I've added a concave, a decreasing concave, right? So if we notice as Bitcoin is going through its life cycle, it's getting less volatile. There's more liquidity in the market, and therefore the price, it takes a lot more money to move the price, right? Since already a lot of people are holding Bitcoin, um, and it's getting more mature. So naturally, with that, we have a curve that's going downward, or at least concave. Uh, and if we follow the same pattern in the bottom, now it's going to give us projections into the future of within the range that it should be in, right? Now I've added also, whoops, where did I take this from? Here we go. Let me go ahead and lock that actually. So there's a lot more I've added, right? Um, I've added the percentage of each bull run from bottom to top, and I was looking all over um, to try to find some type of formula to make a projection in terms of percentage for um, Bitcoin for the future, right? And I came across the 5.3 theory from my boy uh, Crypto University. I watch him as well, and it's called the 5.3 because from every bottom to top, right? So this is, let's say, 59,000%. You would divide that. Actually, I'm not even gonna do it for you. I'm just gonna explain it, right? 59,000 divided by 5.3, and it'll give you the projection for the next top of the cycle, which would be 11,800 around there. Do the same thing divided by 5.3, you get the projection for the next cycle, right? About 2,000% rise. If we were to do the same thing for this cycle, we would get about 400 would be Bitcoin at about 80,000. But I'm not too sure, right? This is just, again, like I said before, I like to rely on confluence. So I just threw that out there just to give you a feel of things, right? Now, something that I added that's more valuable to me is these yellow triangles right here is when is Bitcoin's top, and when it breaks from that point on, it rises, right? And it creates a new high. This is when the bull run officially starts. Now, from there, I've calculated percentages as well. It reaches the top of the band, right, of the concave band, and then comes back down to the bottom, to market bottom. And has been studied doing this for the past, 12 years or so. Now, this is where we are today. We formed our high from the last cycle. We formed our market bottom. And right now we are at the pinnacle, right? This is where Bitcoin is projected to go on its run. And we are exactly a year out from where my projected Bitcoin top would be, right? Now, for these cycles, for this cycle right here, it took about 245 days, right? For this cycle, it took about 240 days. This is from 2017, 2018. The next cycle, which was the last for 2020, it took about 330 days, right? So about a year. Now, if we break out at this point let's say within the next week or so, if we do, to the next projected cycle top, according not according just to that data that I just said, according to the data from my original video, from the projected top, right, it coincides with that about 350 days. This is strong pattern recognition once again, right? Now, a projected top, right, in terms of price, could be if we follow the data, right? Let's say it's going to touch the top of that band and it's going to be precisely around winter time of 2025. It would be about $160,000 per Bitcoin, right? Now, here's another data to think about. From each bottom, top to bottom, Fibonacci extension, right? So I'm going to go, let me see. I'm going to go on the monthly. Now, sometimes, we know we use the candle body, sometimes we use the wick. Um, from the top using body to the bottom using wick. On this projection, we hit, excuse me, using just the body on both. We hit next Bitcoin cycle top, which is the 2013, at a 3.618, right? We do the same thing. We lay it out from Bitcoin's top on that same cycle to its next bottom using the body this time, only the body. We got a projected top. Excuse me, because I can't see this. Another, this time a 2.618, right? The top. Now, for our previous cycle, 2020, if we lay it out from top to bottom, our 618 will land where? Whoops. It would land precisely, delete this, precisely on that spot that we have projected. So now we have one confluence, right, of the projection of the 13-year data of each cycle from halving to top and bottom. That's one. We have two with from the day of breakout from our triangle, right, from cycle top breakout to the next top. That's our second confluence from all previous cycles. That's two confluence, right? To our band being a third confluence, right? Touching each top, staying within the band. Now, that's something to think about, right? We also have our oversold, right? We have 1, 2, 3, 4 touches. I'm expecting by the time Bitcoin gets here, if this is the cycle top, for this RSI to be touching this band. This to me would be the seal of the tell-all, right? All at the same time. But let's see, we don't know where exactly this is gonna land. It might just end super soon, like the 5.3 theory suggests, at about 80,000 and tumble down. My only concern is that from a year out, there's very there's not a lot of price action to go. So it might drag out, right? It might not just shoot up how these look, very aggressive. It might do something like come up, just crash down, maybe retest, and then come back up and touch if it's going to reach all the way out to this cycle. Again, this is all, you know, it's all speculation, even though it's confluence there. But the whole point is to have more probability. The more confluence we have, the more probability of um, this happening. Now, what else do we have, right? Just as we're about to break out, right? We have, let's look at the chart on the actual chart. This is the logarithmic chart. Now, this is a regular chart, Bitcoin. Well, before we get there, let's go to the dominance. This is something I've been waiting for, and I've been speaking in my group chat for, since like last year. I projected this right here to happen since March. Since it broke out of this channel, this is my projection, and to come down, right? Just as this is happening, it's about to break out. We have Bitcoin dominance reaching the 618. Why is this important? Where these are circled here is where Bitcoin broke out. So here we have about April, May 2017, and the next cycle, which was the last one, the previous one before the one we're in now, was around November, December of 2020. Now we go and look here, May 2017, look what happened. Bitcoin dominance dropped, and this is where altcoin began. The hysteria began. Bitcoin and altcoins had a run, right? Delete this. Same thing here. Last cycle on that breakout, December 2020, November 2020, this is when Bitcoin broke out into new price discovery and altcoins followed. With that, Bitcoin dominance dropped because this is the rudimentary problem that I had before, a misunderstanding that I had before about Bitcoin dominance. It doesn't necessarily always mean that Bitcoin is um, bleeding or staying stagnant against altcoins. It could also mean they're both running. However, altcoins are outperforming Bitcoin in terms of percentages and market share. Now, just as we're breaking out or about to break out, what do we have? We have dominance reaching my projection right here. Closed our fair value gap. It is within market structure. We are overbought, overbought on the weekly and overbought on the monthly RSI against market structure and Fibonacci extension. So what I project to happen is exactly that. I've been projecting this since last year, February. And it just happened to coincide with what's happening in Bitcoin, right as it's about to break out. A lot of people right now, including my boy John, with these freaking wave extensions or wave analysis, always redrawing. No offense, bro. You're wrong 80% of the time. I've been telling you. Um, he thinks the market is gonna just fucking crash right now. Um, he's been thinking the whole way up Bitcoin was going back down. Um, yeah, but anyways, this is the part where we get rejected. It could be anywhere from here 60% to the high 62%. There's still market structure here to get rejected off of. There's still space from this point on. Now, what else do we have of confluence, right? So we have all this. Speaking of confluence, we have the Bitcoin dominance chart. Now, what would that mean for Ethereum and the altcoins, right? That's all happening while Ethereum has just reached this trend line. It cleared this fair value gap right here, just touched this fair value gap with market structure, and also a monthly oversold, right? Monthly oversold, weekly divergence, right? What do we expect to happen? We expect a bounce back from this area. and for Ethereum and altcoins to run. Well, this is Ethereum, but we already know altcoins follow thereafter. Now, what does that mean for others? Coincidentally, also, we're talking about confluence here. Market structure, confluence, price action. This is the strongest of things. I'm not using any indicators besides RSI right now, even though I have other indicators that I use for confluence. But when I make these videos, I want people to understand that the fundamentals is what tells the story. Everything else is just additional confluence to, how should I say, to um, to paint the story, to help illustrate the story. Now, others, right? So this is the total market cap, excluding the top 10. Also, at a trend line, also divergent, right? I know this is fucking squiggly lines, but this is what I project to happen as well. For there to be a bounce here and altcoins to run, right? So we also have that confluence. Now, this by itself won't mean anything, right? This by itself won't mean anything. This by itself won't mean anything either. Now, all of these together is called confluence. It's telling a story. And mind you, I projected most of these since last year or months in advance. So it's not stuff that I'm just looking at, redrawing and redoing. Um, this is something that I project for in advance and how I plan to get out of the crypto market. Now, Ethereum BTC as well, more confluence, right? You have a trend line going up. The market is trending as it's touching, as it's reaching market structure, right? We also have monthly oversold. We have a fair value gap that has now been filled, right? So I expect ETH to also take over Bitcoin shares as Bitcoin makes its run and break out, right? Once again, this is at the same time. Remember, all the times that Bitcoin has broken out from its previous all-time high, altcoins had followed, and we go to an all-time high, right? For Bitcoin, it goes on a run. You see, after it broke out, all these white candles, this is a blow off top, right? This as well, coinciding all together. Now, and now if we go back over here to look, November, December 2020, the last breakout from the previous all-time of Bitcoin, as it went on a bull run, to break, this is what happened. ETH took market shares, right? Well, this is ETH BTC. The point is that it outperformed it, right? Same thing with April to May 2017. Look how much ETH dominated on Bitcoin over here, right? Same thing over here is about to happen. It's about to take more shares, right? Now going to total three. This is the market cap of all, excluding BTC and Ethereum. What happened over here? Beautiful market structure. Our previous all-time high, we went down, crashed, created our bottom. We came back up. This is where we broke out of that range. This is when the cycle officially started. Broke out that range, and we just retested it, right? We just retested that range that we broke out of. This is a sign of strength. As we broke out, we got confirmation with volume, right? You see, we have all these touches right here. This is what kept the cycle down. This is what kept the price down. Once it got rejected from this spot right here, we knew we was going in for the bottom. Once it broke out of this range right here, we knew we was out to make new highs from here on out. However, this right here is a pivotal moment because it is the confirmation that there's the bulls are in charge, right? We have oversold a strong signal from RSI, and we have volume kicking in right at that range, right? And this is going to set us off to continue. We just finished breaking out of this trend line, right? Some would consider a bull flag, huge bull flag. We're retesting it right now, right? In the 12 hour, we have confirmation with the oversold. Ideally, we break off from here, claim this range, establish this support, and keep on moving, right? Pivotal moment to break is the 6.18. Once we break that for sure, we're going to know all-time highs for the altcoin market. Excuse me. Okay, now going back to Bitcoin, right? Regular chart, something very similar. We did a crash, reclaimed this range, broke out. What about here, right? We go to the daily. Right here, we reclaimed this area from this trend. Started forming a new trend, reclaimed, broke out. Let's see where this touches actually. I love this price action. Bitcoin is like the easiest to read. And if you read Bitcoin, you read basically the whole market, the whole crypto market. Um, right, so we have these levels right here, this level at the 50% fib extension, right? Then we have the 6.18. What's a pivotal moment to pass through Bitcoin? I said this in the chat, way before, since we were falling, we had to reclaim this area in order to get past that. Once we did, we broke out with you know with strong confirmation. Now, this is also a pivotal moment right here because once again, like I said with Total 3, right, with the altcoin market, we just finished retesting, right, the previous breakout. This area right here has always been the toughest to get past. We just reclaimed it. If we keep it, we're gonna break out, and it's poised. It's pretty much poised to break out. It's at an all-time high. This is where it's do or die pretty much for Bitcoin. We must break out of this range, and once we do, we're going. It's just gonna keep on going. This is where we break out and we go into price discovery. Um, this is just to put things in perspective to where we are on the regular chart as opposed to the logarithmic chart. Um, Breakout, retest, looking for new all-time highs. Here we broke out of the seemingly, bull flag, broke this trend line, touched one, two, three, four, five times, came back, retested it. We have a second trend line coming from the very top, touched one, two, three times, broke out just now. What we're looking for is for price to hold and keep on pumping from here. We can, we can see it come down over here, close this fair value gap, and then keep it going. Double test of this bottom trend line, keep going. That's what ideally we want. Now, can we drop from here? Anything is possible. Election is literally tomorrow. Um, Black Swan event could hit. All this, everything that I just said right now could just go to bullshit. But something, the charts speak to me. The charts tell the story, and what it's looking like is that it's the opposite. That we are gonna go for price discovery. That the market from here on out is gonna go on a run. Um, yeah, fear index, greed and fear index is at 50 neutral, which is really good. Bitcoin down 60%. Yeah, it's looking. Yeah, the market is looking good, and this is why you know, I haven't done a video in a couple years because it's not reached where I projected it to reach. This is the moment, quite literally. This is the moment. Um, so hopefully I'm seeing this in the future and it made sense. Um, hopefully this is where I'm looking back on and I made a lot of money already. Let's see though. Let's look at something else just for the heck of it. Let me see. Let's look at link. Let's looking like. Okay. So we had this consolidation over here, stayed within this range for months. Finally broke out, right? Headed up 0.38, came back down. It retested this, right? This not only this trend line, but this range, this box of range of price consolidation, and we should see a bounce. If not, we can double tap this. We could come back down, and there's still a little fair value gap down here. We could come down to about $7, 7.5, and then go off, or it can just be straight off from here. Um, what we're looking is to reclaim some of these highs, ideally over here, 19. Once we clear 19, it's back on the uptrend. But I don't have no doubts. I don't have no doubts the market is going to um, bounce strong when it does. But yeah, anyways, I'm trying to think if I'm missing anything. Uh, yeah, no, everything is sweet right now. Yeah, on the monthly, I'm looking for Bitcoin to whenever it reaches high, it's wherever it's gonna land at, whatever price it is, I'm looking for it to tap this trend line right here, and hopefully there's confluence, and that will signify to me that the market cycle is now complete. And yeah, let's see. Hope everybody's making money. I hope everybody is staying sane because there's a lot of shit being spat out. Um, it's a lot of bullshit here and there. So many people confusing other people. So many, you know, there's people talking about Bitcoin going to fucking 400,000 this cycle. There's people talking about it's gonna crash right now. It's just I don't know. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. There's no confluence. People just use indicators or use one method and they swear by it and they're wrong all the fucking time. When I was saying, I remember all right. So I called the top. There's people that were talking about buy Bitcoin at the top, right? Literally at the top. Bitcoin was like 60 something thousand dollars. And I know a couple people personally that were talking about buy the top. They weren't even saying the top. They didn't even think it was the top. They thought Bitcoin was gonna keep going to, $500,000. You never buy at all time high, ever. And then those same people along the way, even when we made bottom, they were saying we're gonna keep going lower, right? We're gonna keep going. Bitcoin's going to 8,000. Bitcoin's going to 12,000. All the way going up over here. They still don't believe it. Even at 34,000, oh no, we're going back to 12. No, we broke out. We kept making higher highs, higher lows. They kept saying all along the way, not believing. Even now, people are still thinking it's gonna crash. I mean, all along the way, still thinking Bitcoin is gonna crash. All the way from 15,000 to now we're at about 70,000. People are still bearish. How can you be bearish at a price movement just like you know talking about $60,000, $55,000 price movement, price action, unheard of in any other financial market? People are still bearish. Like how long can you be bearish? And I bet when we reach the top, those same people are going to be saying there's still more to go. It just doesn't fail. Like the mass, there's just you know mass psychosis is the best way I can put it. Anyways, I'm not here to talk about others, um, except others chart. But yeah, see how long I've been going. Don't know. Anyways, sayonara. Hopefully you guys got some or a lot of info off of this. If you guys want to know more about this chart right here, that says a whole lot. Um, Go check out my other video. I don't care how many views it gets, really. It's not about views. I'm not trying to get popular. I'm not even sharing this to the public. I'm sharing this among a select few people, like I said earlier. But if you want to check it out to learn more about the market, go at it um, and see how I see things. Everything is market structure, price action, market structure, confluence, and pattern recognition. Literally, the market will tell you where it's going. You just gotta listen. And Bitcoin has the easiest pattern to follow. The Bitcoin halvings tell a story on its own. From there on out, everything is similar. There's diminishing returns happening. Um, People think Bitcoin is still gonna go to 500,000, a million. It's not gonna do that in a long, long time. We're following this trend right here, right? I'm just gonna draw out, let's say potentially, right? Let's say it's like this. It's gonna get more and more, curved. There's a convex curve. It's gonna reach a point. It'll be something like this, right? So it's gonna maybe, hit right here, 160,000 this cycle, and eventually it's gonna stabilize, because people need to realize that the higher the price of Bitcoin, the more money it needs to actually move, right? To get a higher price, the more it needs to be, you know, injected with liquidity. And in this economic circumstance that we're in, it's not, more people are adopting or carrying Bitcoin. There's more holders than anything, than sellers. So when there's more holders than anything, it's basically people just like keeping gold, right? Um, I do think it's going to be a store of value. I don't think it's going to be a much reliable one because it can be manipulated more than gold. However, it will stabilize out, right? It will go, let's say 160,000, come back down the market, 60,000 or something like that. And eventually, slowly, it's going to climb, but not by much, right? You see, like over here, the very top is about 230,000, something like that. But, or who knows, maybe, perhaps, right? This is speculation at this point. Perhaps this is all one big cycle. And the next cycle starts when Bitcoin breaks out of this range and is going to form another one of these, right? I don't think so. It's just like speculation, hopeful thinking for other people. But for now, I'm just listening to the data, and this is what the data says. Um, yeah, stay sane, guys.